Welcome back. The Marine Corps is riding a 2-year streak now for achieving a clean audit opinion. Financial management experts say it's a major step toward Congress's mandate that the Defense Department receives a clean opinion for the entire department by fiscal year 2028. Joseph Nave is principal at KPMG. Joe, welcome. It's great to see you again. What are the major components that the other agencies that are also working toward what the Marine Corps has already done, getting a clean opinion, should be thinking about now as we're getting into the middle of 2025?
So I think a key component is the tone from the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about that in the past. It's the agency or the entity having that singular message that audit's important. It's usually a comptroller-driven exercise, but it's not going to be accomplished with just the comptroller. All functional lanes need to be on board. There needs to be an environment of accountability to meet the audit objectives and the milestones, and really holding folks accountable, especially given the 2-year constraint.
What is the sense that you have so far of how this administration is driving that? Because it sounds like efficiency and effectiveness strike me as two really important reasons to be supportive of the audit effort moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at, in some cases, you mentioned 2028, we're actually moving those dates to the left for certain entities within the DoD. So this administration is very focused on achieving those objectives, getting to a clean opinion, but also sustaining that opinion. So I think we'll see a lot of good traction over the next couple of years, and in the near term, 3, 6, 9, 12 months as well.
And that's what Mike McCord said, the comptroller in the Biden administration, said on this program back in January, which is he expects to see in the next year or two really marked progress because agencies are getting really close to being auditable, to receiving clean opinions, even though they haven't quite made it yet.
Yes, I think that once you see a couple of entities get there and you've got that framework to see, what needs to be done to ultimately get to that goal and sustain that goal, you start to kind of coalesce around some of the lessons learned and the best practices. So I certainly expect that over the next several months, and as I'd indicated, I would agree that we'll see an upswing in getting more clean opinions on the books for the DoD.
All right, you've used the form of a word that I'm really interested in twice already, and that's sustainability, sustaining the opinion. The Marine Corps insiders there told me they were very nervous, not that they didn't think they would make it the second year, but that was really important, not just to make it the first year. What drives sustainability in your view over time for both the entities inside the department that do it and then for the entire department once they finally achieve that clean opinion?
So if you look at some of the big ticket items that folks are focused on usually, especially within the entity itself, it's material weaknesses, it's significant deficiencies, it's these audit challenges that every organization knows that it's had for quite some time. I think when we talk about sustainability, it's first triaging those issues that you have to address to get to an opening balance and to get to an audit opinion. Second piece comes a sustainment, which is workforce training, it's IT modernization, it's cutting through some of the nuanced policies that maybe need to be rethought given the current environment and some things that may have gone stale over time that might not necessarily be applicable today, but we're beholden to those laws and regs because they're out there. So it's really becoming more agile and relying on technology as it is today to help push you forward and sustain it.
You said something at the beginning of this conversation that I think is really important to highlight. You used the term tone at the top, and I think that sets the stage for what the culture of the organization is, driving a culture that the audit is important. What will make that, what kind of embed that into the way that the agency and the entities inside the department do business, the way that they approach this culturally to make sure they maintain that momentum over time?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I think this gets back to the sustainability piece, right? Because once an organization sets the tone and says this is important, and you see some of the milestones you've accomplished, and you get to an opinion and you start to realize this is something we can achieve, I think for the organization, it's real for them. So as we continue to make progress, I have every expectation that these organizations, it'll be ingrained as part of their ethos just as their day-to-day operations would be. And that's really where we want to get, that workforce mindset shift to where audit is not a one and done annual, you get a clean opinion and you get to pack up and go home. It's something that we do on an annual basis.